Hello everybody. I'm going to do a video today on solar panels and solar energy. Alright. Hope I'm talking loud enough. We're getting a new camera, so as soon as we get a new camera you won't hear all that wind background noise. That's why we're inside to do the vocals for this video today. But today is March 2nd? 3rd. March 3rd. And as you know, we've just had two storms that hit the East Coast and the West Coast. Okay, me and my wife try very hard not to be spouting or really speaking too much on some of the things that are coming, but I couldn't help it this time. I felt like I just was moved, and I need to say some things to you guys to help you at least plant a seed of thought of your preparedness, or if you even think preparedness is a necessity for yourself. You have 2 million people right now without power on the East Coast, okay, that I don't believe they were properly warned to even understand how powerful this storm was. We've watched one channel which said that the winds were up to 175 miles an hour. What they've been putting on the news is somewhere around 90 and 75, but if you look at that damage to me seems a lot stronger than 75-mile-an-hour wind. Okay, we have 50, 60-mile-an-hour wind out here, and we can pretty much gauge what that kind of wind would do, and that kind of wind isn't going to tear up trees and tear down all kind of power lines. So we believe very strongly that they are not being truthful or forthcoming about what these winds are really like or what's really happening. So I felt the need this time to go a little deeper than what I typically do in our videos. Okay, so with that being said, this video is going to be based upon giving you guys some information of how to have some sort of power backup system in case you lose your power and energy, because I don't believe that if it does happen, you know, you're going to be properly warned. Look at Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico still doesn't have power, and you're not hearing anything on the news as it relates to Puerto Rico or their progress or how those people are surviving. Those people cannot go to an ATM and simply go to a grocery store. So you have to beg the question, how are these people eating? How are these people functioning? Well, my conclusion is they're living under martial law right now, and they're being rationed food through the government. That was one of the reasons me and my wife moved out here, is we see some things coming, and I choose not to be in a situation where I'm going to be rationed food or be controlled of how I live. Okay, hence the name of our channel, How to Be Free. So I'm hoping this video gives you guys some insight and some food for thought to really see some thought process of some sense of urgency of at least having a backup plan. Even if you don't jump as hard in the water as me and my wife did and see the need as manically as I did, still at least have some food for thought to address what you do have as a backup system just in case. Okay, it's better to be prepared and have something than have nothing at all. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you Rooter to Tutor solar panel kit, because we just ordered a new one. This solar panel kit is 200 watts. I'm going to show you what it can run, how much it can run. I'm going to show you how to put it together. I'm going to talk a little bit about parallel circuit and series circuit. Please go behind me and investigate and learn about those things on your own. I am not an electrician. I'm a CPA. I'm not a master of this stuff. I just know a little bit of stuff that I've read and I've dug into, and I'm hoping the little bit of stuff I've learned I can pass on to you, and you can kind of dig into it yourself. But as you can see right now, our TV and nothing is on. So anyway, to get to the video, sorry to cut and jump like that, but to get to the power bill now, I'm going to kind of illustrate. As you can see, we have no power on our TV system. Okay, no light. Well, you gotta excuse me, this thing turns our radio on. I don't know how, the TV didn't come with the R&B, but anyway, it turns the radio on. But the TV don't have power. So once we get rolling, I'm going to show you how to have power that you can use for your TV for news, you can use for your refrigerator, you can use to keep your phones charged so that you can still communicate with each other in case your electricity goes out. Okay, So with that being said, we'll come back in here after I got everything ready and I'll show you how it works. So we'll go outside now so you can kind of watch me put it together, and I'll talk a little bit. This is the solar panel kit that we have ordered, and as you can see, it's still in the box. As you can see, I still got all my pieces here that are in the box, okay? What we did was we moved that solar panel kit right here that we were using for the inside to our front batteries so that it can keep our batteries charged on the RV at all times, because we've had a couple of cold nights and sometimes that heater kind of burns the battery out, and about 5:30 in the morning it get cold. So this way we don't have to worry about power anymore for our batteries. So we ordered this one for our television set, and I'm going to show you how to hook this one up. Okay. First things, directions, take them and toss them. No, sorry, don't do that.
Men hate to read directions.
I'm not a direction reader, so I'm just cut like that. So anyway, these are the solar panels here. These are 100-watt solar panels a piece. Okay, so we've stepped up from a 120-watt system to a 200-watt system. This panel system we bought cost how much back?
About $200.
No, it's $279, wasn't it?
Yeah, about $279.
It was $279. Typically, you're going to pay about $100 a watt for, $1 a watt for a system, but charge controllers are about 60, 70 bucks. So the whole system for $279 to me was a pretty good market price. So I would suggest that we bought it off Amazon. Not giving Amazon any plug, just letting you know where we got it. So I'm gonna have to make a stand to put this connected to, but for right now, we're gonna just put it together, and then I'll make the stand. So these are gonna be negative and positives that are gonna go to the charge controller, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the two negatives and put the two negatives in here. Okay, this one's a negative. It tells you right there, and that'll go in here. Okay, and this negative over here will also go in here. Okay. Push them till they click, and boom, boom, boom. Then this negative is going to go to this negative here, boom, boom. And then that's going to go to this in here, which will go to the charge controller, and then we'll take a clip that goes from this to the battery. Okay. These things are really easy to put together. They're not rocket science. So forgive me for not reading the directions. I hope this thing works.
He just never reads directions.
All right, so we got our two positives going to a positive cable, our two negatives going to a negative cable. And it looks like I'm right because, as you can see, they each got a different fitting. So the two negatives, the two positives go to the red, which is a male and female. So I must have put it together right. Like I said, it's not rocket science. positive. So now, the only thing I got left now are these brackets. So now I got to figure out how these brackets go. So let's go in here somehow, like that. Okay, and like that, like that, like that. Then what I'll do is I'll put a 2x4 across here, connect them to a 2x4 and make a stand. Okay, we had to take a quick break for a minute, but I'm back. So come on, what we had to do is I had to build a stand for this kit here. So this is something you need to pay attention to when you're ordering your kit offline, okay? This one didn't come with a stand, so I had to build one real quick, all right? And then we'll finish going back into how to connect it. But make sure if you get one, this is a good one. It's heavier wattage. This is 200 watts. It's 100 each panel, but they don't come with a stand, okay? So I'm gonna show you our old one that was 120 watts that comes with the stand. It's like a suitcase and it's much easier, but this will give you a lot more power. All right, come on. Okay, so this is the old one here. And as you can see, this one just kind of already had a stand connected and it just closes up. And this is the voltage controller here. I used to have it sticky right here, but it's falling off. But I'll figure out how to sticky that again later. But anyway, this one here is only 100 watts, but it folds like a suitcase. Has little claps here with a little handle. So it's something you could take in and out your house. And all it does basically is come over to a battery and it just clips onto your batteries. Positive to the positive and the negative to the negative, and it just keeps your batteries charged. So that's a easy plug and play one. This one's pretty easy, still plug and play, but a little more manual that we didn't know till we got it. Okay, so now that the solar panel is connected, the next thing we got to do is hook up the charge controller. Now this kit also didn't come with the charge controller. You getting me? Mm-hmm. This one also did not come with the charge controller clips that go to the battery. So I had some old ones laying around off a inverter that wasn't working. So what I'm gonna do is, because they a little big here, all right, I'm gonna just snip these with some wire snips and make them a little smaller. So if you're looking for something real easy, the plug and play is really easy. This one, if you got some tools around the house and you're kind of a do-it-yourself type person, you can kind of get it to work without having to go to a store and buy a bunch of stuff. But if you don't have any tools, then yeah, this system here does not come with the battery clips and it does not come with the stand. So keep that in mind. If you want the bigger system, you're going to have to build you a stand, and you can buy these at any hardware store or battery store, or hell, even the car place. But basically, just clip them without jacking them up. And I'm just clipping them so that they'll fit in there. I just happen to have some old wire snips around here. Let's see if this will work now. And then those two cables that we had left over, the black and red, go here for the solar panel, and then these go to the battery, and then you got solar power. And it's pretty much that simple. It's not real complicated, it's not real hard. You just gotta figure out which one's gonna work for you. Nah, almost in there. Yep, there we go. Come on, baby. crucial. Make sure these things don't touch. Okay? Make sure they do not touch. Okay. Now what I could have done is I could have just turned them off. I could have just, see, it's really close. I don't like how close it is to not touching. So when I hook them up to the battery, I'll see if I have a spark. But that's the main thing, is you can't let your negative and positive touch. Okay. So then last piece is, we take these. The black one will go to the negative, and the red one will go to the positive. Okay, I'm gonna have to take a break for a second because I need my helper here with the camera to help me move this stuff over here. And then we'll be back in a second once we got it ready to rock it. So what we've done is we just moved our solar panel over here, and we got it set up sturdy. One key thing you need to know about your solar panel is your solar panel always got to face south. The sun rises in the east, it comes around this way, and it sets in the west. Okay? So the sun never goes north. So when you set your solar panel up outside, you got to make sure it faces the south. Make sure there's no trees in the way, blah, blah, blah. Even if you got to take it, put it on the roof, whatever. It's up to you. You know, a lot of people out there might be saying, well, hell, I'll just go buy a generator. Well, what if you can't get gas because there's no power at the gas station? What if you can't go to the ATM because there's no power at the bank? If you got something like this, this will make sure you have some power, whether you have gasoline for a generator or not. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're watching the video, deciding if you want something like this for a backup. All right, so what we have now is we have our clips connected to our charge controller. All right, like I said, this system did not come with clips. That other system that I showed you, the smaller one, it did. It comes with clips. So if you get this system, you're going to need to go to a automotive store or something and buy clips to be able to put on here. You just put the positive to positive, negative to negative. It's that simple. Okay. Now earlier I spoke about series and parallel, and I said you might want to do your own due diligence into this on your own. But when you hook your battery system up, you hook it up parallel if you're using 12-volt batteries. Because if you hook it up parallel, your voltage stays the exact same as what it is originally. If you hook it up series, it'll increase your voltage, which might fry all your stuff. So parallel means positive to positive, negative to negative. Series means positive to negative, negative to positive in a series of batteries. If you do a series of batteries, it'll last longer, but you got to use 6-volt batteries because it'll multiply and add the voltage together. So if you're using 12-volt batteries, which these are just marine RV batteries, which I find are better than car batteries. So if you get marine RV batteries, they seem to hold charges longer than a car battery. And in here I have 3 batteries, all right? 3 batteries gives me about a good 5-6 hours at night. During the daytime, it don't matter. As long as the sun is out, I'm fully ready to go. As long as you're not trying to run more stuff than the voltage that you're using. So like I said, you can't use your microwave, you can't do something like that, but can you run your refrigerator? Sure. I use a 2,000 watt inverter, all right? Most things are gonna need at least 1,000 or more watts. What the inverter does is the inverter takes my DC power and it turns it into AC power so that the refrigerator, my TV, my internet, my cable, so that stuff will work. So as you can see, I got all my positives going to positive and all my negatives going to negative, okay? So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this, the charge controller. Once I hook up these here, the power is gonna come from the solar cell to the charge controller, negative, positive to positive, negative to negative, and then the clips will go on the batteries, and then that will keep my batteries charged, and I'll just turn my inverter on, and then bingo, we got power. That's my little word, bingo.
Bingo.
All right, I was a little intense earlier because I was throwing a curveball, not knowing that thing didn't have a stand, and it threw my day off because I wanted to do some gardening stuff. So
I know it threw off my gardening.
Yeah, threw off our day. So anyway, let me get my little tool so I can cut that, get that connected, and then I'll be back once I got it ready to go. Okay, now as you can see, I hooked up the negative to the negative from the little solar panel sign, the battery signs. Your clip goes on your negative clip. Your positive goes on your positive clip. Once you clip it on, then it's on, okay? Okay, so as you can see, if you can zoom in, it's reading 12.3 volts that it's getting from the sun right now. And that 12.3 volts is coming in through here. I've turned on my inverter, okay? My inverter is reading 12.2 volts, so the inverter is using a point of a volt for its own power to be on, okay? So now what I'll do is later on, I'll come and I'll drill this and attach this to here so it's good to go. But as you can see, I got 3 batteries. It looks a little convoluted, but it's really not. Just positive to positive, negative to negative, okay? Again, I highly suggest the marine type batteries, RV type batteries. They seem to hold power longer and last longer, okay? So now we'll go inside and I'll show you how everything works off solar power. Okay, so now what I typically would have is this is my power plug that covers everything. This is the surge protector that I was showing you that's outside. Basically what I do is I just hit the switch right there and you can see the light comes on. So now you know that's getting power from my inverter. Okay, so this plug here goes to another surge protector that I got everything plugged into. All right, so this is a cord. Earlier when we first started the video, I showed you that the power wasn't working with the TV. So now what I'll do is I'll unplug my TV from the RV. I'll plug it up to my inverter. And then I will hit power. And bingo!
Bingo.
Bingo! I'm going to change the name of the channel to Bingo.
Okay, G54.
Alright, so anyway, as you can see, it lights up my my dish satellite for my dish TV, and it's starting up the computer, well, it's starting up the TV. It also has my phone connected to it, and if I want to run my computer or my printer, it'll do that as well. Okay, so again, just to recap, there's a lot of things happening with this weather. I highly suggest that you guys start keeping track of it. Download the Weather Channel app. You seem to get more information from the app than you do from the TV news. We don't believe the TV news is telling people a lot of things that are going on. The one thing I want you to get from this video, or at least that I'm hoping that you get from this video, is that you at least decide to get you a backup solar power system and not be completely dependent on a power generator off gasoline, because again, you can't get gas. The gas station might not have power. The ATM might not work. The debit card system might not work. So if power goes out like that, how are you going to at least get news? How are you going to be able to call your loved ones? How are you going to be able to communicate with each other? How are you going to keep your food from spoiling that you may already have in your refrigerator? If you got your nice little backup system, you'll be cool. At least you'll be able to handle that event and you won't be in dire straits as it relates to that. But that's it for How to Be Free today. On How to Be Free, you do this big enough, you ain't got to have no light bill. Like us. Okay. No light bill. But
I want to interject.
Okay, go ahead, baby.
Also, for those people that have solar systems or thinking about getting a solar panel, for those of you that are living in areas where you don't get a lot of sun, like Detroit, because it chemtrails so much, you may want to consider getting a small windmill attached to your solar system. That way, in case there is a cloudy day, more than likely you will have a lot of wind and you will still get power. And those systems are cheap as well, or inexpensive, I should say, in comparison to some of the big solar systems. So that's something that you may want to consider to look into.
And just one last thing, this system here, 270, 279 for the big panel. Okay, batteries are about $100 a pop. 2,000 watt inverter is about $400. Okay, so you can do a decent system for less than $1,000, easy. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And if you got any questions, feel free to post them. We also now have a Facebook, How to Be Free Facebook, right?
Facebook.
So if you got any questions, you got any comments, anything you want to ask specifically from this video that maybe I didn't touch, because my baby says I do go fast, but we were low on battery on this one, so we can't find the charger to the camcorder, and we're waiting for the new camcorder. So anyway, feel free to leave us comments, questions, whatever. We'll be more than happy to try to answer. Okay? All right, everybody. Have a good one. Yeah. Bye. I didn't actually show you guys the TV working, so my wife will probably recut this and redo it. But as you can see, it's working. It's running off the solar power. Boom, boom, straight through there. That's what it's plugged in at. Oops, I unplugged it.